Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining the West San Antonio Chamber. I am Christy Villanueva, President of the West Chamber, and today joining me is Marcus Reedham. He is a contracting officer with the 502nd Contracting Squadron. So thank you, Marcus, for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So you probably know this show is very new to the West Chamber, and this focuses on expressing to our audience how important it is to get involved in the community and to also find these wonderful opportunities for contracting and procurement.
Okay.
So please tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about your office and what's going on.
Okay. So I'm a contracting officer with the 502nd Contracting Office, and I am a contract. I oversee contracts for services, construction, as well as commodities. Our organization, provides base operational support contracting for Joint Base San Antonio, and essentially what that entails is everything necessary to run the day-to-day operations of Joint Base San Antonio. Everything from refuge, food services, security, any type of commodities, any type of construction that goes on. And so, within my office, we have contract specialists. Those contract specialists, essentially, they provide the market research. They work with the customer in dealing with their requirements and essentially taking a requirement and turning it into a contract. And so also within our organization, we have some small business specialists.
Yeah.
And those small business specialists, they're primarily focused on, making sure that we're being good stewards of the taxpayer dollars.
Absolutely.
And complying with the requirement to ensure that, a prescribed required amount of our contracts are set aside for small businesses.
Wonderful. Well, I know a lot of our membership and friends of the Chamber have been asking about doing business with JBSA. So that's why this topic is so relevant, and for them to understand that those business specialists are there to help every step of the way.
Exactly.
Now, tell us about your successes in small business contracts and small minority women-owned business contracts. Please tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so so the federal government's business year is from 1 October to 30 September. And so for the business year that concluded on 30 September 2018, the 502 contracting of the $266 million that we had allocated that were eligible for small businesses, approximately 66% of those were set aside for small businesses.
That's amazing.
And we were able to exceed our goal in terms of for veteran-owned small businesses as well as women-owned small businesses. So we've been very successful in providing business opportunities for small businesses.
That's right. Well, I have to give a little shout out to my friends at the Fair Contracting Coalition, because we talk about this all the time with Mr. T.C. Calvert.
Okay.
And how important it is to have those opportunities and share the wins. So you would essentially have an excellent grade on the report card that the Fair Contracting Coalition has.
Yes.
And we do that on purpose because we want to make sure that those opportunities are readily available no matter where we go. So once again, if you're just joining us this morning, I'm here with Marcus Reedham. He's a contracting officer with the 502nd Contracting Office of JBSA, and he's telling us a little bit about how to work with JBSA related to the procurement, how to be prepared, and about the wonderful people he has working with him in the office that can help you gain those contracts. So let's talk about moving on, these basic requirements. So we've got businesses that maybe they've only been in business a year or two, but have a great passion. We've got others that have been in business for 20 years. So with that, they need a little bit of information as far as, they've got to be a registered business with the state. They need to be listed or they need to be looking in FedBizOpps.
Okay.
They need to be registered with SAM.
Okay.
Kind of tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so one of the key things is that each business must have a DUNS number. That's like the basic item that they need. And one of the biggest things in order to do business with the government is you must be registered in SAM. And so SAM is where you have all your representations and certifications as to who you are as an entity, but it's also kind of look at it as, your federal resume,
Yes.
as to who you are as a company. And and ensure that you have properly checked all the boxes in
Right.
terms of your size standard, and you always want to associate your business with the primary NAICS code, which is very, very key, because your NAICS code helps determine your size standard as far as if you're small or not for
Yes.
the particular area in which you're trying to do business. So it's very important that you ensure that you met all those requirements, that you have your DUNS number, you've registered in SAM, and that you understand what all the requirements are as you're going through all the boxes that you're checking.
And that you can easily find when you register your business. You know that you have those resources. All that's listed in the state and the government website in case you have questions about that. There's also definitions when you go online to register. You'll see the details involved in that. So make sure that you have that ready for you. If you have additional questions, the Small Business Administration, we have an office here in San Antonio. Small Business Administration can help you with that information and make sure that you have the right NAICS code associated with your business. So if you're a contractor and you specialize in electrical, you're not trying to get NAICS codes that have concrete in it. You need to be very specific with what you're doing. And that way, your specialists can find that. Tell me about the Small Business Dynamic Search that they do.
So as part of, when a requirement comes in, our small business and our small business as well as our contract specialists are querying to see, what small businesses are out there that are able to satisfy the government's requirement. And so it's very key that that you were registered in SAM, but also that you appear in the Small Business Dynamic Search, because as part of our market research, we're going to go out there and we're going to look to see what businesses that are out there that are capable of meeting the government's need, and should we find through our market research that there are small businesses that are capable, and that's when we're able to justify being able to set that business opportunity aside for that particular small business. And even furthermore, if it's determined through market research that we can further set it aside for a social economic category, whether it be women-owned small business and or a service disabled owned small business, then that will help substantiate being able to set that aside as far as focusing that opportunity for that social economic category.
That's even more reason to be registered with the different entities around town, with the SBA, So with that, let's go into let's continue with the qualifications. So besides being registered in SAM, having the DUNS number, and they also need to have some sort of one sheet, 1 or 2 pages that summarizes their business and their capabilities.
Yes. So we typically call that the capability statement, and it's always great to have in multiple domains. One, once you've registered and you've definitely established yourself as a business within a specific NAICS code, it doesn't hurt to provide that to our small business specialist, and I've provided that email address
Yes.
To the chamber.
Yes.
So once you have established that, it's good not only to present to us, but when you go to different forums and as you network, so that everyone has an idea of what you're capable of doing. And the key things to include inside that capability statement are: what are your core competencies? What are some of the things that differentiate you from others within that industry, as well as past performance. Letting us know that that past performance doesn't necessarily have to be with the federal government. It could be demonstrated past performance in doing business with the municipalities, states, and or other entities. So it's very key that you help summarize and kind of 2 pages selling your company as
Yes.
to why we should go with this particular company.
That's right.
To be able to secure a business opportunity.
So I'm sure you probably feel a little overwhelmed by now. How am I going to register, put together this capability statement? There's a lot of things. I'm a small business owner. I'm out on the street looking for contracts all the time. And at this point, you need to just kind of take a breath and realize that there's a lot of help out there, not only with your office, but there's also resources, that is available to anyone for free. So one of those we talked about is the SBA, and then we also have the PTAC office. Now the PTAC office can also help you with your capability statement, because when you register, they will then assign you a person who's going to walk you through the different things. So there's also the San Antonio Business Opportunity Council. They will also help you with the registrations. Is there anybody that I missed, Marcus?
No, I think you hit the three great resources, but I think that one of the key things about the SABOC, which is coming up, is typically every year in August, they offer a workshop. And the workshop is a great opportunity to not just hear from the different federal agencies or contracting activities here in the San Antonio area, but also network with other businesses.
Absolutely.
And what you'll find is, as you connect with other businesses, they will share, some of the stories and some of the successes and some of the lessons learned. And I think it's just a great forum, for companies to kind of come out and engage and learn a little bit more about doing business with the government.
Yes, absolutely. And that gives you those opportunities offline to participate in possibly a mentor protege program that's available throughout the city with different entities. Maybe go into joint ventures or a teaming agreement in order to learn from others. And we have to remind everybody, when we're talking about commodities that are needed by JBSA, this is everything.
This is everything. So essentially, we look at everything that supports the operator, everything from computers to cleaning supplies, and things of that nature. Now there are some limitations as far as, like, we do have some mandatory sources where we do have to go get some things, but there are a lot of opportunities outside of those mandatory sources for small business to provide products and services to the federal government here at Joint Base San Antonio.
I think the only one thing that we didn't talk about was how contracts are paid. So while we talk about getting prepared and all these things, you do have to make sure that you have money in reserve, because sometimes these contracts are not paid in what we're used to, the 30, 60, 90-day point. So is that...
I mean, the government obviously focuses to, especially for small business, we try to pay them quickly, but also keep in mind that, there are some factors that could potentially delay, through the invoicing process. So, small business should, understand that there are possibilities that, they may not necessarily have that payment. So they want to make sure that they're prepared for that.
Absolutely.
And again, just great opportunities, await, the small businesses here at JBSA.
Absolutely. So from here, we're going to list, please send us your questions, anything related to the 502nd Contracting Office, and we'll get them over to Marcus. We'll also share contact information, we'll share resources, the websites. That's all going to be underneath this video for you, so you can start working towards doing business with JBSA. Marcus, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And we'll have to have you back to get into some more of these details, because it looks like there's a lot of opportunity available here.
Yes. There's a lot involved, but once you have once you've mastered the process and stuff, it's really great doing business with the government.
Wonderful. So rest assured, all these folks are here to help you. They're here to work with you so you can have a successful business here in San Antonio. So again, thank you for joining us at the West Chamber pop-up. We are going to move forward with our April 1st West SA pop-up, and that's going to be with Doug Melnick. He's from the Office of Sustainability. We're going to talk about the Climate Action Adaptation Plan. As you know, we have a meeting coming up tomorrow, which is Tuesday, and we're going to be with the San Antonio Chamber, the Hispanic Chamber, and the South Chamber, along with SAGE, talking about the Climate Action Plan, which is very important to each of us. And then after that, April 6th, our office, the West Chamber, will be hosting its own meeting with the Edwards Aquifer with Sarah and SAWS, and we'll be talking more specifically on water related to the Climate Action Adaptation Plan. So again, don't want to take up any more of your time. This is a West Chamber pop-up, and we hope that you'll join us again next time. Thank you.